I'm here to talk to you about high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. This is a condition in which the force of blood against the artery wall is too high. High blood pressure is actually very common among people. More than 3 million people have high blood pressure in the US. How they check to see if you have high blood pressure is by getting a physical examination by your doctor. You might also have symptoms.
Let's talk about some of the body's structures that are most affected by high blood pressure. These include your blood vessels, heart, brain, kidneys, and eyes. The small blood vessels in the vital organs are most affected over time. These vessels become scarred, hardened, and less elastic, which means that they are more likely to get blocked or rupture. This may happen as you get older, whether or not your blood pressure is too high. But high blood pressure can speed up this process. Another way that high blood pressure affects your blood vessels is that it may play a role in the development of atherosclerosis. A person has atherosclerosis if their arteries thicken because of fat and cholesterol buildup on the artery walls. High blood pressure adds strain to the blood vessel walls, which puts them in more danger of getting atherosclerosis than they would otherwise be. If the inside of your blood vessels gets smaller and harder, and the pressure inside them goes up, then your heart has to pump harder to get blood through them. Your heart is a muscle, and just like other muscles, working this hard makes your heart get bigger. This is not a good thing for your heart. It can get stretched out, and some of the blood that is supposed to pump through your body stays back in the heart. Eventually, your heart begins to weaken because it simply cannot continue to pump so hard against the pressure in your vessels. When the heart can no longer pump out all of the blood that enters its chambers, this is a serious condition called congestive heart failure. A symptom of this condition can be fluid that backs up into the lungs and chest cavity. High blood pressure can also damage the brain. Blood vessels in the brain can get blocked or rupture, just like blood vessels anywhere else in the body. The difference is that if it happens in the brain, there may be bleeding there, or the brain tissues won't get nutrients and oxygen from the blood. High blood pressure is a major cause of strokes and bleeding in the brain. It can also affect normal brain function as a person ages. The kidneys are also important organs that can be damaged by high blood pressure. If the arteries that supply blood to the kidneys are damaged, then the kidneys' tissues will not get the blood they need, and the kidneys themselves can gradually lose their ability to function. High blood pressure can cause changes in the retinas of your eyes. The retina is where the eye receives visual images. The blood vessels in the eyes are also at risk of getting more narrow, rupturing, and bleeding. These changes can cause impaired vision and, over time, may lead to blindness. As you can
Very simple ways to lower your insulin levels. And folks, you can measure this. All you have to do is have your blood tested by your doctor, a fasting insulin level, and your insulin level you want to strive for is about 2 or 3. If it's 5 or certainly over 10, you have got a problem and you need to lower that. And of course, you don't lower it with drugs, you lower it with natural approaches. And one of the most effective ways to do that is with exercise. A regular effective exercise program, which consists of certainly aerobics, anaerobics like sprint, burst types of exercising, strength training, and ideally you'd like to have someone monitor and supervise your program because it's really vital that you get this right. But a good comprehensive, holistic exercise program will go a long way towards reducing that. And ideally, you want to if you're to do that, you're going to need to get to about an hour a day, somewhere in that range. But you want to work slowly and start slowly. So that is one of the most important. The other is to cut out foods that's going to raise your insulin. And typically, foods that would do that are sugar types of foods or grains because they break down to sugars very rapidly. Even whole grains, organic whole grains will do that. So if you have high blood pressure, hypertension, high cholesterol, or obesity, you want to lower those. So that would be breads, pastas, rice, cereal, potatoes. Even if they're organic, it's still going to do the same thing. Until you get those under control, you want to stay away from those. And fruits are also fall in those categories because those are high in carbohydrates.
In my project, I talked to my dad about his eating habits and made him have a healthier diet plan to lower his risk of another panic attack. Instead of frying food like chicken, we switched to baking it. We also switched from white bread to wheat, and he even had wheat pasta yesterday. We also tried to avoid salt in his meals, and now he's been eating more vegetables like Brussels sprouts and green beans. My dad has also always loved fruit, so I made sure that he kept that in his diet too. We are still working on the sugars after his meals, but he's always had a sweet tooth.